It is the UQ Barras and the purple caps on the left of your screen attacking against the Polar Bears. And they get the game underway. It's the UQ Barras. They split their team 3 ways, or their squads 3 ways in the under-18 competition this year. Obviously a very strong under-18 cohort of boys in the UQ Barras. UQ Water Polo Club changing their colours and names. That's a nice cross pass. Coast to coast it went from the 2-metre line. Hit the right-hand upright of the Polar Bears goalkeeper. 8 minutes of attack in this game. Nice ball into sitting centre forward, looking for the turn. He went for the backhand. It's a tough turning opportunity from Fletcher Dudley, and then turned on his strong side. And that's the opening scoring. What a great goal it is from the number 3. Jack Scott opens the scoring for the Polar Bears, and this the under-18 boys competition. We've had some outstanding games throughout the day today. And it's one of the biggest water polo competitions in the Southern Hemisphere, that's for sure, in junior competition. Ball into Big Bonza at sitting centre forward. He forces an awesome save from William Hornung in the cage for the Polar Bears, coached by Paul Ruznik. He's from Romania originally, Paul. Done a lot of work in the trenches for Polar Bears. His team 1 up against the UQ Barras. Ball into sitting centre forward. Nice backhand goal. That's an outstanding goal from the number 11, Fletcher Dudley. Wow, he's dangerous here. To shot a little bit earlier, did Fletcher. And on this occasion, he puts the ball in the back of the net, does Fletcher Dudley. 2-0 Polar Bears over UQ Barras. Ball into Bonza. He's going to be a dangerous centre forward himself. He's come through the ranks as Bonza. We watched his young brother play a little bit earlier. He has the Polar Bears on attack and forced a great save in the cage from Hamish MacDonald. That shot coming from the McCarthy. Somebody joining us in the commentary booth, Isaac McCarthy, a little bit later. They go for the scoop shot, sitting at centre forward, and Barras get away with it on that occasion. 5 minutes remains in the first quarter. It's the Polar Bears 2 over the UQ Barras 1. Plenty of time to go, but it's how you get out of the blocks, but then you got to maintain the lead. Seen many teams come back from deficit on the scoreboard. Oh, he can't find a way. This is an interesting matchup. Bonza and the goalkeeper from Polar Bears, William Hornung. That was an outstanding save off his head. Nice falcon, but he keeps the ball out. That's the main goal of a goalkeeper, Hornung. Extra is the call. There's a mid-court offensive turnover in favour of Polar Bears in attack now. Outside shot is on. He looked down the line. Excellent. And they thread the ball onto the 3-post. He probably wasn't on that occasion. They rushed it. And McCarthy causing all sorts of trouble in attack. Against the UQ Barras in attack now. Up they come in attack. It's Tommy Doe. Ball into sitting centre forward. Nice turn on his strong side, and that's exceptional defence from Polar Bears. Sloughing off the wing, a classic wing drop. Well played, Aidan Drew on that occasion, coming back and helping his team out. It was Josh Isles, sorry. Isles boys are going from strength to strength. Originating from Sunny Coast, the Isles boys. Josh Isles on this occasion. Outside shot. Easily plucked out of the sky from Hamish MacDonald. Barras just slowing their attack down. 18 seconds on the shot clock. A little bit sloppy on this occasion. Moving the ball around the outside. They're driving in front of the sitting centre forward, so they can't get the ball in, and they get pinged on the 2-metre line and it's an offensive turnover, a turnover in favour of the Polar Bears, who lead 2-0 with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter of this Under-18 Boys Championship Grand Final. Move the ball around the outside. Looking for sitting centre forward. It's almost a half 5-6 drop. Ball into sitting centre forward. Flick it out the outside. The movement had to come from the Polar Bears. The centre forward thought that was around, but just throwing away possession. 2:32 remains in the first quarter. 2-0 in favour of the Polar Bears, coached by Paul Ruznik from Romania. He's up against Akos Janozi from Hungary. Nice to see some international flair. We had a Slovakian and Thomas Ladeki on the deck for Barras under 14. He got the chocolates in the end for his team over Sunny Coast. And then All Hallows beating Mermaids in the under 14 girls competition. First up this morning, nice save in the cage from the Barras from Hamish McDonald. Got up nice and high, did Hamish. Keeps that one out short corner. Very energised this finals day. Finals day of the Brisbane Water Polo Incorporated competition. Polar Bears in attack now. Fires that great save in the end by McDonald again. Remember, the Barracudas split their cohort of under-18 boys into 3 teams, and obviously strength in numbers. One of their team made it through to the grand final, and here they're facing the Polar Bears. Both clubs produced some amazing players to go on to represent Australia. None more so than Rhys Howden, recently retired after Tokyo Olympics. 4-time Olympic Olympic representative Rhys Howden. I think he wished he got a gold in all 4 of those, but Howden now applying his trade for Sydney University in the Australian Water Polo League, which continues on today. And we're into the last minute of the first quarter. 2-0 in favour of the Polar Bears over the UQ Barras. Bonza hustling in defence. And Barras steal back possession. It's all about possession, which is key in any defence and any victorious team. Here comes the drive. Gains an exclusion. Excellent play by Bonza. It's what they do next. They need to convert these exclusions. They're setting up 3-3 at the moment. Now shuffle across to a 4-2 formation. Move the ball around the outside is the call. The reason why they want to move that is to bring on their post player, and that's the opening goal for the UQ Barras from number 7, Aidan Drew. We move into the last 30 seconds of the first quarter. Polar Bears almost going 3 in, 3 out. Just gives that's good player management by Ruznik, gives his starting players that extra 30 seconds rest as they move into the quarter time break. Then they got even fresher legs when they get back in after quarter time. UQ Barras in the grandstand, their support crew are pretty quiet. They can't believe their team's 2 down. Polar Bears playing outstanding. But it looks like the last 23 seconds of this first quarter will go in favour of the UQ Barras. Turns on the outside, waiting for the drives to come. Here we go. Nice play. They gain an exclusion to the Barras. Hugo Buller in it. Possession now, 12 seconds. Still plenty of time to get a shot away. They haven't looked at the main clock. He drives towards the cage, looks for a penalty, doesn't get anything. Advantage is the call from the referee, and they throw away that exclusion attempt, and it is 2-1 in favour of the Polar Bears in this grand final of the under-18 boys competition. It is Jack Scott 1 and Fletcher Dudley 1 for Polar Bears, and we only had 1 goal scorer, which was for the Barracudas in Aidan Drew. We'll be right back after this short break for the second quarter of the under-18 boys. All right, welcome back to the start of the second quarter. 8 minutes of this quarter, 7 minutes it is, sorry, of this under-18 boys competition. It's 2-1 in favour of the Polar Bears. Out of the blocks very well, the Polar Bears, coached by Paul Rusnik. And a nice, evenly tempoed match as the cherry picker goes for the UQ Barras. And you certainly don't want to leave him, the number 4 on the outside, who puts it into the back of the net, and a great goal from Isaac McCarthy. He'll be joining us in the commentary booth a little bit later, Isaac McCarthy. So he extends the lead 3-1 for the Polar Bears, Isaac McCarthy. They can't find a way through, the UQ Barras, on this defence of the Polar Bears. Now they get an exclusion. They haven't been great in this department, the Barras, although they did score on the last exclusion attack. Goes down deep. Back up the top now. Trying to find a way through. They post pop by Bonza. They know he's dangerous as Bonza, and 3 blocks in front of that. He has another fired shot on the outside, does Bonza. And they've got his number thus far, the Polo Bears. They've really played well against a key player in Bonza for the UQ Barras. The Purple Army. Ball into sitting centre forward. Backhand! Wow, he's playing well at sitting centre forward, the number 11, Dudley Fletcher. But forces a great save again. That's been a good matchup, Fletcher against Hamish McDonald in the cage for UQ Barras. Go from position 4 to position 1 on the first line. Now they go up to position 5 on the top on extra. And 5 it is, and it's a goal from the number 9. Number 9, Oliver Schenkel, who puts it in the back of the net for Polar Bears. Extends the lead 4-1. Gee whiz, the Barras support crew are quiet in the grandstand. Tell you what, they need to fire up their team here. They're under 18 boys. The 18 boys need some energy. They've had some shot opportunities, but they can't find a way through the goalie. There we go, 6 balks on the outside, then he throws it down deep. But Hornung's been outstanding in the cage for Polar Bears. And again, they thread it down deep. Buller puts it into sitting centre forward. No exclusion gained. Told he was holding the ball. Can't believe that there was no exclusion on that play into sitting centre forward for the UQ Barras. 4:46, they absolutely controlling the tempo of the Polar Bears as Bonza comes around and steals back possession. Looks like Arkos Yonosi is going to be in trouble for the UQ Barras as the card comes out, a yellow card for Arkos Yonosi. It's tough being a coach, I tell you what, especially when you're looking for even refereeing, but that's a red card for Genosi. He got a yellow first up, and now he's in the grandstand for a red card, so the assistant will have to take over. Got to try and control your emotions as a coach. Been given a warning first up, but he'll sit in the grandstand now with the remainder of his support crew. Maybe he needs to fire them up a little bit to get the energy into the water for the UQ Barras as they get an offensive turnover against them, do the Polar Bears, UQ Barras. You just feel like if they get a goal, that belief is going to come back to them. Here we go, Bonza. He's the go-to. Matt Bonza threads it on the outside. They give it down deep. Bonza driving from the wing position. Here we go, shots on the outside is needed. Doe puts it down deep to Buller. Buller hustled from behind. Bonza wants it before he's pressed. They thread it back up the top to Doe. And that's a great block by the Polar Bears. They definitely are in control, the Polar Bears. They can't panic, the Barras. They're down by 3, yes. But plenty of time on the scoreboard to go. 3:50 in this quarter at least. We've got another half of this grand final. They're without their coach who's been given the marching orders. Bonza press in on the outside. That's an offensive turnover. hand in the face and throw away the ball. That's an exclusion. Exclusion against the number 5. He has a number 7. He hasn't gone out yet, so it looks like it'll be a penalty for the Barras. Oh, he now goes out. Luckily, he didn't make an attempt to go out. His number was shown. Ball on the post, and that's a penalty gain. Excellent play by the UQ Barras, and on that occasion, Ollie Clements gains the penalty. Oh, it wasn't. It was the number 9, Aiden Staskovic. They're just playing a low-tempo game, the UQ Barras. Maybe they're going to come down the straight in the second half. They need to convert this, and Matty Bonza up to take it. Ooh, Bonza makes no mistake. You could hear it on our effects mic as it rocketed the bar down into the back of the net for Bonza. And they, on the scoreboard now, they trail by 2. The goal by Drew and 1 to Bonza, and 4 goals for the Polar Bears, who deserve to be in front. I tell you what, Jack Scott, McCarthy, Schinkel and Dudley are the goal scorers for Polar Bears. They call this a quarter that you've got to try and stay in the hunt. You can't leave. You cannot leave the team to get too much of a lead. Right, here we go. They another assistant's joined the bench, and his name's not on the scoreboard, so he's not allowed to coach in actual fact. Nor can the assistant coach. The assistant coach is not allowed to stand up. He's you're allowed to call timeouts, but you don't have the rights of what a coach does. And you have to sit down on your bench. You cannot stand up and bark instructions. So the assistant coach or manager has been asked to sit down for the UQ Barras. 4-2 they trail, the UQ Barras. They trail without a coach as well, who's been given his marching orders. It's tough being a coach in the grand final. That was Arko Shinozi. Just found himself frustrated with referees' calls. It's tough being a coach in grand final day. You almost feel like referees are against you, but it's how important that teams need you throughout the game. He's a very experienced coach. He knows exactly what he was doing. And he's up in the grandstand now. All right, team's not out of it, though. They certainly have opportunity to get back in this game. They're down by 2. Plenty of water polo to come, and that's a turnover call in favour of the UQ Barras. Oh, here we go. There's more controversy off the ball. Looks like there was a punch out of the water, and it's a double exclusion. A double exclusion against the number 5 from Barras. Ollie Clements, he'll go to the corner for 20. And who's that from the Polar Bears coming to the corner? He's a big bopper himself, I tell you what. Looks like it's the number 8 from Cara Lynch. He's in the corner. Okay, it's 5-on-5. Still a press defense coming from Polar Bears, nothing different. It's just the Barras have got to back themselves on the outside. Down the line it goes, hits the crossbar yet again. They pick up the scraps and they'll reset at 20 seconds in favour of the Barras on this attack. It's hesitant on the outside, and they're looking for Bonza, who wanted the ball on the water. 10 seconds, still plenty of time. It's the team that keeps their head and they're cool. They're losing their cool a bit, are the Polar Bears. 2 traditional powerhouse clubs in Brisbane, Polar Bears and the Barracudas. UQ Water Polo Club Barras. Nice shot, nice goal. He took the water up, and the number 6 puts it in the back of the net for the UQ Barras. It is Talon referee. Rafa puts it in the back of the net, and they trail by 1 to the UQ Barras. Paul Rusnik, the coach, just talking to his bench, saying, hey, we can't leave him that close. Talon referee putting that one in the back of the net. 2:13 in the second quarter. Polar Bears in attack. been many of exclusions off the ball, and it's the team that keeps their head will win this game. Under 18 boys to try and tell them to calm down is tough. They're hot-headed. They would know each other very well. They're playing state team programs coming up in the winter season. Move the ball around the outside. Thread it down deep. No, they don't. They force a shot on the top. Great save in the cage by McDonald. He's been brilliant. Advantage is the call. Now they're firing themselves up in attack. Energy in the grandstand from the UQ Barras. Down deep it goes to Raffrey, the goal scorer. Threads the pass cross cage, looking for Bonza sitting centre forward. He rolls to face up. They get it to Bonza now. Gains an exclusion. That's a good process play by the UQ Barras Water Polo Club, the Purple Army, gaining the exclusion. No timeout. Bonza, once it gets it down the line. We said he has to step up now for his team, and he gets them to a 4-goal piece, does Matty Bonza. Pushed off his player, did Bonza. One for the highlight reel. It went wing to wing, and then Bonza. It went from position 4 to Bonza, who slid out into the free space and put it in the back of the net. Excellent goal by Matty Bonza, or excellent goal by UQ Barras in the end. 4 goals apiece, 1:11 remains in the first half of this grand final game of the under-18 boys competition. Two traditional powerhouse clubs, the Polar Bears up against the UQ Water Polo Club Barras in the purple caps. Here we go. The momentum is towards the Barras. Nice ball to Bonza! Bonza in the back of the net again! The big bopper. No, he doesn't. He gets an offensive turnover against him for pushing off. That's a tough one. Tough one. Give advantage to the attacking player, but offensive was called by the referee. No goal. 4 goals apiece. 40 seconds remains in the first half of this epic encounter. The grand final of the Brisbane Water Polo competition. It's played here at the Valley Pool. Their defense has been great in this quarter, the Barras. And Hamish McDonald has been outstanding as he taps that ball over the top. This will be the last attack. Ruznik adjusts his glasses, wipes his sweaty brow. The heat is on here at the Valley Pool for the coaches. Not only the players in the water, not only the spectators in the grandstand. Down the line. No, it's a save. He's been brilliant. Here comes the counter. It's a 2-on-1 for the Barras. Isles looks up. Cross pass. Back of the net. It goes. Number 6. Referee. 2 goals in this quarter for Talon. And Josh Isles, excellent assist as he put that pass across. And now the Barras are in the front. It's a 4-goal turnaround for the UQ Barras against the Polar Bears. And they block it out with a slam shot from Bonza. His energy's up. He gets his left hand up again, does Bonza. And his team leads 5-4 in the under-18 boys competition. It is Barracudas or UQ Water Polo Club Barras 5 over the Polar Bears 4. All right, welcome back to the start of the second half of this very entertaining grand final. The grand final of the Brisbane Water Polo Incorporated Under-18 boys competition is 5-4 in favour of the UQ Barras. They came back after trailing 2-1 in the first quarter and now find themselves 5-4 in the lead. Their coach being sent to the grandstand, and they stepped up in that second quarter, and especially young Bonza and referee, who scored 2 goals apiece. Aidan Drew with 1. That's the 5 goal scorers for the Barras, and Jack Scott with 1. Isaac McCarthy, there's a big time player who we'll see step up in this quarter. McCarthy, he'll be on the microphone later on today with me. Oliver Schenkel with the other goal, and Fletcher Dudley. So could we be heading for penalties? We haven't had penalties in the final series thus far in the competition here at the Valley Pool anyway. We've got games going on at Somerville House as well. In this very popular competition, the Brisbane Water Polo Incorporated. It produces some amazing results and energy on finals day. Every youngster aspires to want to play on finals day. Ball into sitting centre forward to Bonza. Nice save. Wow, he's been excellent in the cage. Has Hornung in the cage for the Polar Bears. He's had Bonza's number on a number of occasions. That matchup has been brilliant. Ball around the outside. They put it into sitting centre forward. He flicks it in, and it's a great save in the cage from Hamish MacDonald. Both goalies have been brilliant or impressive. But just got a flick shot away at McCarthy on that occasion. And that's an offensive turnover for using your head. You can't use your head at sitting centre forward. You've got to control that head position. Polar Bears in attack now. They're only down by 1. The team that controls their emotions the most will probably come through in the end. That's an evenly balanced team, or competition in the water between both these teams. And the crash back comes back to steal back possession for the UQ Barras. 5:30 remains in the third quarter. They call this the championship quarter, as you'd like to be in the front at the start of the home stretch, as the drum starts to beat in the grandstand by the UQ Barras. They've been a little bit quiet by their standards. They've got to try and edge their team on. I tell you what, they can learn from the girls' teams in the grandstand this morning. Very energized. The St. Rita's, the Somerville House, the St. Peter's teams, just been brilliant. A lot of school programs involved in this Brisbane water polo competition. Thread the ball down deep, trying to find a way through. Fletcher Dudley scored 1, the lefty. Threads the ball across. It's a high pass in, and he got his elbow out to try and get that shot away. It's sitting centre forward, but it goes over the top from Orson Collett. Bonza has a think about a shot on the outside. He's cool, calm and collected is Matty Bonza. Got 2 to his name as Bonza. He's the big match player. They need to get back in the game and move the ball around the outside. Bonza puts it into the first line. Caught in 2 meters, he was. You can't be afford to be caught in 2 meters, Aidan Drew. It's a offside rule for water polo. Well read in the end. Excellent play coming from Joshua Isles. Isles boys going from strength to strength in their water polo. They love it. Although on this occasion, they throw away possession. Not on the same page, and you can't give that for McCarthy. He's playing a little bit in the Australian Water Polo League, McCarthy. He debuted a few weeks ago for the Griffith University Queensland Thunder. That's an exclusion off the ball for holding underwater against Bonza. The lefty thinks about it and doesn't get the shot away. McCarthy wants it. They'll have to give him half a chance, and they bounce the ball again, and it hits the crossbar. Shot on the outside coming from the number 6, Ethan Top. At the top of the barn. Back out again. Is that Bonza out for the game? He is. That's Bonza rolled for the game. The big Bonza. It comes down to player management. He said he's only on 2. But the table is saying that he's got 3 exclusions. Always have that when players go, hang on a second, I'm only on 2. But now and again, the penalty is another one that might have been given against him. But that's a big loss for the UQ Barras, losing their number 4, Bonza. Move the ball around the outside. McCarthy, he now becomes the big time player in the water for. Oh, nice turn on the strong side. Gains an exclusion. Excellent play by the sitting centre forward from the Polar Bears in Cara Lynch. Well played, champ. He's got his cap ripped off half of his head. Oh, they put it in the back of the net just like that. He's got a sneaky shot, Fletcher Dudley. Excellent goal by Fletcher Dudley. That's his second for the game, and he evens it. 5 goals apiece. Barras are all grumpy on the side of the pool. Yes, they've lost Bonza, but it ain't the end of the world. Now the next players have got to step up and back themselves in the game situation. 5 goals apiece. 2:49 remains in the third quarter of the under-18 boys competition of the Brisbane Water Polo Incorporated tournament. Or move the ball around the outside. 2:33 remains. Tempo's pretty slow for an under-18 boys competition. They look like they're both going to hold themselves for the final sprint down the line. Goal scorer is dangerous, Fletcher Dudley, the lefty. 2:14 remains in the third quarter. He has a look down the line, does Dudley. McCarthy throws it past the right hand upright, as he has a moan to himself on his first stroke in defence. He loves the game of water polo, McCarthy. Now the drum starts to beat in the grandstand for the Barras. Ball turn, looking for a penalty and gains it. That's an excellent play by the sitting centre forward for the UQ Barras. And gains the penalty. Up to take it is the number 5, Ollie Clements. Clements up to take the penalty for the UQ Barras. 5 goals apiece. Makes no mistake, does Clements. It's in the back of the net. Oh, it's not. It's number 6, my apology. Talon referee, that's his 3rd for the game. Talon. Tell you what, that was an outstanding penalty. It went the wrong way to Hornung. He's played outstanding in the cage, Hornung. But they're now back in the lead, the UQ Barras. And the purple caps. Isles on the outside, giving away a foul on McCarthy. That's a push-off is the call against the sitting centre forward. He moved laterally. All centre forwards like to move laterally away from their defender. One of the best at that was the Sydney Olympian Sean Boyd, the sitting centre forward for Australia. If you ever want to learn from somebody who mastered that move, the Aussie Shark Sean Boyd, now living in the Gold Coast. Played professionally in Hungary too, did Sean Boyd. A number of players go and play professionally in Europe. Nice ball down the line. It's a goal. And it's a goal from the number 4, Isaac McCarthy. I said he'll stand up, McCarthy. He's a big match player, is McCarthy. And comes from a great pedigree, as his mom played in the Olympic gold medal winning game in Sydney 2000 in front of 30,000 supporters. What a history-making moment that was. Aussies taking down the Americans 4-3. Comes around the outside and steals possession, does McCarthy, and gains the exclusion, plays himself. He's buzzing now. Pass across. There we go to the lefty, down the line in the back of the net from Dudley Fletcher. Assist by McCarthy. He's found his straps, that's for sure. McCarthy's team now lead 7-6. Outstanding play by young McCarthy. Stole the ball, gained the exclusion, and made the assist. .40 seconds remains in the third quarter. UQ Barras, it's been a seesaw affair on the scoreboard. Who's leading? But Barras were out the blocks early. Polar Bears challenged. Then Barras back in front. The start of the third. Now the cherry pickers going down the line. Nice pass. Oh, it needed to be pinpoint on the hand. It was adrift, and that's a 30-second offensive. So you've got to put the ball in the back of the net within 30 seconds as the clock aligns with the game clock with 11 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Outside shot goes wide, and we'll turn at 7-6. 7-6 in favour of the Polar Bears. 3 goals in that quarter for the Polar Bears. And only 1 goal in that quarter for the UQ Barras, and we're set for an epic finish between the UQ Barras 6 over the Polar Bears 7. All right, welcome back to the Valley Pool for the start of the fourth quarter. And like I said, it's been a seesaw affair in the lead of this game, but it is the Polar Bears who find themselves 7-6 up. 7-6 they lead over the UQ Barras, who split their teams 3 ways this year. Otherwise, they would have been very powerful, the amount of depth that they've got in that club. But Polar Bears have been outstanding and deserve to be in front at the start of this fourth quarter. They've just got to keep their head. Dangerous player sitting centre forward is the left-hander. He's scored 3 in this goal, Dudley Fletcher. Isaac McCarthy was outstanding in that third quarter. But they're just playing cool, calm and collected, are Polar Bears. A bit ruffled are the UQ Barras as they lost their coach in the second quarter. Nice goal. Excellent goal it is from the number 6. I tell you what, that's textbook stuff. Ethan Top picks the ball up, drops his left shoulder and throws it cross cage into the back of the net. You've got to be good to beat Hamish McDonald. And that was an outstanding goal from Ethan Top. 2 goals they lead. Polar Bears over the UQ Barras. No timeouts called by the UQ Barras or even Polar Bears on this occasion. Nice turn, nice goal. Nice advantage play by the referee on the far side. But referee scores his 4th in this grand final, and this time from sitting centre forward. Excellent play. Nice advantage from referees. And he keeps them in the hunt, does referee. 8-7 in favour of the Polar Bears. The North Brisbane Polar Bears out of Albany Creek. Great work, one of the traditional powerhouse clubs of water polo. Been around a very long time of the Polar Bears. River City, UQ Barras and Warriors. Nice drive, looking for the penalty. Keeps the ball alive, and in the back of the net it goes. And he puts it in, and he evens the score as Tommy Doe. Excellent play by the UQ Barras. 8 goals apiece it is. 8 goals apiece. Referee with 4, Bonza with 2. He's out for the game, Bonza. Big loss, but it's now for the rest to step up. $18 on the shot clock. 5:33, plenty of time to go. Looking for the ball into sitting centre forward. Crash back comes, ball under. No, it's an exclusion. An exclusion in favour of the Polar Bears. It's what they do with this now that matters. They need to back themselves. They've been a bit hesitant, both teams. Goes from position 4 to 1. Sitting on the 2 meters. They need to get out of the 2 meters. Isaac McCarthy fires a rocket from position 6. Great block, and it's an offensive turnover. Nice play by Isles. He needs to be careful underwater. He gains an exclusion. He couldn't help himself. The number 7, Leo Smeaton. He'll go for a kick. It looks like he's going to be rolled. He'll be given the card. A red card it is. I said the team that keeps their head will win this game. And they just gave away a kick off the ball, and this penalty is the call. Rusnik will just say to his players, come on, you've got to keep your head here. Smeaton out for the game, rolled, and it's a penalty in favour of the UQ Barras, and they send up Josh Isles to take it. He's got to leave the pool deck now. It's tough playing water polo in finals. Emotions come into play. It boils over. You've got to keep those emotions intact. Your team needs you. Trust you me, I've been in that situation, and they'll learn from it. These are youngsters. I best they watch the replays and see what they did. Silly exclusion. Was no need for it. He was on 2 meters on the other side of the pool. Don't need to give away an exclusion on that. He played him over, did Isles. He was clever. He put the carrot in front of him, and he bit it, and thanks for coming. You're out for the game. Penalty against. So it's Hornung in the cage up against Isles for this penalty take. 5 minutes to go. The game is not done. But they definitely want to convert any of these power plays. Well refereed. Both referees have been good today. Well, I suppose coaches don't agree, but that is an outstanding goal in the back of the net. It goes for Joshua Isles. What an outstanding penalty. Now it's the Barras in front, 9 goals to 8. 9 goals to 8 in favour of Barras. It was an outstanding third quarter. It was a third quarter 7-6 lead to the Polar Bears, and now they find themselves 9-8 down in the fourth quarter. 4:57 remaining. Call that 5 minutes of water polo. Barras, Isles steals the possession, goes towards the cage, sits up nice and strong, and it forces a great save in the cage from Hornung. He's been brilliant, William Hornung. So too is his opposing number, Hamish McDonald, for the UQ Barras. Keep your head, control your attacks, and capitalize on any opportunities. That's the key to winning games. So too is the Big D defensive efforts, that's for sure. Down the line was on. He opted not to throw it. He didn't even have a look at the cage. Probably should have had a shot down the line. Outside, he's going to get the ball now again. After the rebound, he will. And that's a turnover. He just couldn't get his hand around that, Tommy Doe. Should have had a shot down the line, Tommy Doe. It's the Polar Bears in attack. Here we go. It's Isaac McCarthy. Fires one, does McCarthy. Forces a great save from Hamish McDonald. Gee, he backs himself, does McCarthy. He's not scared. Confident kids make the grade. Watch out for this guy. I tell you what, McCarthy loves this game of water polo. He's grown up on the pool deck watching it. 4:07 remains. McCarthy wants it, gets it, wants the foul from the referees. Oh, I tell you what, backed himself again, cross cage, hits the crossbar. Threaded into sitting centre forward. McCarthy thinks about a drive. He wants it out the top again, gets it, wants the foul. Oh, he's lucky, nearly got the ball stolen off him, McCarthy. Will he have a third shot? Yes, he will. But he throws it over the top, does Isaac McCarthy. Backs himself all the way, does McCarthy. His team need him here. They play well around him. 3:38 remains in this grand final of the under-18 boys competition. Two traditional powerhouse clubs. The Polar Bears in white caps with 8 goals and the UQ Barras with 9 in the purple caps. He's been great! In the cage is William Hornung. What an outstanding save from Hornung. All aspiring to play Olympic Games in 2032. These guys are a little bit old for that in water polo terms. Oh, maybe not. I'll tell you what, very young Aussie team at the moment. Just a lot to learn from World Cup, which was recently played in Zagreb and Podgorica. That's a penalty game for the UQ Barras, and he'll step it up again. He knows where the back of the net is Josh Isles, that is for sure. And it's a penalty in favour of the UQ Barras to extend the lead by 2 with 3:08 remaining. Sits up nice and strong, does Josh Isles. He's a big match player. And 2 in the game for Ilesy. And the 18 girls comp going on alongside. It's 15 goals to 6. Looks like 15 goals to 6 in favour of the Mermaids over the Polar Bears. So Polar Bears in the boys comp, under 18 and the girls comp. Like I said, a nice founding club here in Brisbane. The Polar Bears produced some outstanding players in the history of their club. Ball into sitting centre forward, turns, and forces a great save from McDonald again. We talk about great players. Bronwyn Knox, 300 games today. She's not playing for Polar Bears in the Australian Water Polo League, but the 4-time Olympian playing for UWA these days. She originated from the Polar Bears. All right, that's a timeout call for the UQ Barras. They're down by 2. No, sorry, they're up by 2. My apologies, as Bonza now takes over the coaching reins, stepping up after him gaining 3 exclusions. All he needs to do is just control their attacks now. UQ Barras had their timeout call. They're up by 2. It's a power play extra in favour of the UQ Barras. Next up, it is the under-15 boys grand final. UQ Water Polo Purple up against the Sunshine Coast. That'll be an interesting game. Had them together in the under-14 comp as well, but under-14 Barras going through on that one. Talk about traditional powerhouse clubs, the Barracudas, now the UQ Water Polo Club, as they fire that one over the top. They spray it over the top. And that could have been the final nail in the coffin for Polar Bears if the Barras had scored that, but Isles threw that one over. Nice save by McDonald and a firing sharp shooting shot from McCarthy on the outside. McDonald's been outstanding. Hornung's been outstanding. 2 goalies. Tell you what, talents for the future, that's for sure. We've produced some outstanding goalkeepers through Queensland. None better than Raphael Sturck. Came up from South Australia, did Raf Sturck, but played for the winning UQ Barras National League team in 2004, the history-making National League winning team, the UQ Barras. The KFC Breakers went on to win in 2007. What an outstanding final series that was by the KFC Breakers. Now combining forces into the Griffith University Queensland Thunder. So only one license here in Queensland. So they're into the bottom 6 of Australian Water Polo League, which continues this weekend. And then there's the top 6. Outside shot is on, and it goes over the top. UQ Barras in Isles has seen an opportunity to get a counter-attack, but they'll opt to probably slow it down and control and chew up all the time. Use the full 30 seconds. Goes down deep. They'll come around the top. They've played a good game of the UQ Barras. They lost their coach early, but they've regrouped and regathered. The manager and assistant been outstanding for them, just controlling the troops in the water. 106 remains. And McCarthy, don't want to give him any space because he'll fire one away. It gets a ricochet, and McDonald picks that one up after a good block in defense from the number 5 in Ollie Clements. That's another timeout call, looks like, for the UQ Barras. And it's just to control their attack and get their message across, and ultimately say, just let's slow down our attack, let's use our full time, and ultimately we'll win this game. Because if we chew the clock down, the Polar Bears have no time to get 2 goals back in. Polar Bears coach Paul Ruznek probably going to send one of his players as a cherry picker, but still 6 on 6, so no extra man. It's just a get the message across to the boys as they come in and control that. Control the next 50 seconds of the game, and if we do, we win it. Simple as that. That was the message to the UQ Barras. Polar Bears have got to be expansive in this defense. Still time to score 2, but they've got to steal back possession. Full clock is the call, and rightly so. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Use it all. Control it all. Here comes the drive by the Barras. They thread it into sitting centre forward as the shot is on. It sprays it wide. 26 seconds remain. They need to get a goal quickly, do the Polar Bears. 17-6 in the game alongside. Mermaids will be victorious over Polar Bears. But not too sure what's happening now. It's a timeout call by Ruznik. And Ruznik just brings his team in for his first timeout of the game. And it's not very easy in this situation where time's not on your side and obviously you're down by 2. It's a hollow feeling when you know you might lose the game, but it's not over until the final whistle, that's for sure. This is their attempt to get a shot away, and the Barras have been good. Like I said, it's been a change of leads throughout this game. The Barras were in front, then Polar Bears had an outstanding third quarter, find themselves turning 7-6 at the start of the 4th, and Barras were just brilliant in the 4th. Now lead 10 goals to 8 with 23 seconds. Here comes the shot on the outside. Needs to back himself. Take the water in front of you. Down the line it is. Ooh, I thought that could have been a goal. No VAR in this competition. They're not even willing to give the ball on the counter-attack, although they do at this occasion. And that will be it. It'll be 10 goals to 8. The winning margin, and the winners of this under-18 competition is the UQ Barras Water Polo Club. They lost their coach early, they regrouped and they regathered. They are the champions of 2023, 10 goals to 8 over the Polar Bears.